Hello there, good morning. You're watching Proactive London. Richard Lloyd is joining us today, the CEO of MINEXIA, who owns and operates the NR private market finance platform, of course. So welcome back to you. Accompanied today by Deakins, the CEO of CitizenMe, because we're going to be discussing your collaboration that you've recently come up with. So a warm welcome and good morning to the pair of you. Rich, maybe kickstart this conversation, if you would, as to how you two came to form this partnership and how it works exactly, if you would.
Sure thing. Morning, Katie. We had an investment by Ragnar Capital Partners, Philip Bailey. They like what we're doing in our private market and the sort of platform-based financing. They are sort of much more traditional corporate finance house, fundraising, broker, etc. And CitizenMe will be our first deal in collaboration with them. So Philip Bailey introduced us to Sinjin, and it's helping us broader. We've always discussed before about having these further verticals in fintech, green tech, etc. And this will be our second fintech deal. We're very excited about it, and it gives us that benefit from the Ragnar team as well, who are much more in tune with the fintech world and their analysis. We collaborate on the deals and sort of raise money together. Mm-hmm. So the platform base is a top up and a complementary version, as we've always said. It started off with the mining industry, and we're finding that the fintech world is looking a lot more favorably these deals.
Yeah, quite right. Sinjan, let's get you involved into this conversation now. Maybe explain exactly what you do, and in terms of monetization, how does this work, and what's the revenue model? Explain it to us, if you would.
Hi, good morning. So we've got this fascinating situation where we have a $4 trillion marketplace, which we all participate in, but none of us get the full value from. And that's basically the market for personal data. And it kind of fuels pretty much all the companies on the internet. So we have companies like Google and Facebook, which we all know, that kind of pooling huge amounts of money from this market, and mainly because there's this massive asymmetry of information. And that information is all of our information, our personal data. So what we do really simply is give all of us a way for us to hold and very simply collect our own personal data, copies of it from around the internet, put it together using our own kind of algorithms, machine learning, AI, to give us all kind of insight from our personal data. And then if we want to, we can anonymously or openly kind of exchange it with companies for fair value. And that fair value could be cash, it can be rewards, vouchers, coupons, etc., or it could just be better user experiences, loyalty tickets, etc.
Mm-hmm. And who are the people that are buying this information, this data?
So we've deployed the platform on CitizenMe.com as an insights platform as a first step. So we have big companies like GlaxoSmithKline and Sainsbury's, WPP advertising agencies purchasing data, and they're doing that as consumer insights, basically. So kind of market research, Q&A, questions and answers plus data. But we also have very large organizations like a large global credit card company, a large American telco, licensing the core engine, the core technology that we have for use with their own customers.
Got it. And what's to stop someone copying what you're doing?
We've spent a considerable amount of time building out this very simple to use but sophisticated platform where we distribute all of the data onto individual people's smartphones. So we've got about 5 billion people in the world with smartphones, and our mission is to make them all digital citizens by giving them all a copy of their own data. That to actually kind of build that out is quite complex. You can't just query a database which is on 5 billion smartphones, right? We've got about 300,000 people using the platform already, so we're by far the market leader. And the technology is proprietary. It's completely distributed. It doesn't use blockchain because blockchain isn't fast enough yet. We'll use it as and when it becomes ready for mass adoption.
Got it. And what about personal data regulation? How does that impact you exactly?
Well, that's one of the huge disruptors in the space at the moment. There are lots of big companies you will have heard of, maybe like Experian and Equifax, Axiom, LiveRamp, and they're basically third-party data brokers. And the regulation that's coming through in Europe and the UK, and increasingly in the US, about 35 different states are looking at GDPR-style regulation, personal data regulation. means that third-party data trade is becoming very, very hard to do. And big companies like Facebook and Google actually buy a lot of this data. So if you can't get it from third parties, from kind of slightly secretive databases, where do you get it? And the obvious place to go is direct to individuals. And if you can get people to consent it directly, then the regulation doesn't really matter because you've got direct consent. And that's what we do as a business. On top of that, you have Apple kind of looking at the way the wind's blowing and basically kind of driving privacy as part of a big differentiator for them. So Apple's getting rid of trackers for advertising. And Google is also getting rid of cookies, which is having a huge impact on the space. So they'll get rid of cookies, and you'll have to use the Google tracking ID for things like advertising. So for large organizations which are consumer centric with maybe hundreds of millions of customers, there's suddenly a big issue. And we provide the technology for those companies to be able to continue to compete and serve their customers.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like it's really good timing for you.
That's perfect timing for us, yeah.
And how does someone become a citizen then? How does this work? How do they sign up?
It's very straightforward. At the moment, you go to the iOS or the Android Play Store. You download a free application. You do simple insights, what we call insights. And when you do those insights, you basically populate your data vault. So a really simple example, you can connect up your Spotify account to your app. Remember, all the data sits on your phone. And you do that to maybe get some information about your mood over the last week. So I want to find out what my mood's been like for the last week according to my playlist. I connect my Spotify playlist. I see that I'm 65% happy according to the songs I've been listening to. But what I've actually done in the background is put in my Spotify data into my vault. So we make it really fun and easy to collect the data. And very, very quickly, you have a very large data vault full of data, which becomes very valuable for the marketplace.
Rich, let's get back to you and ask how people can actually invest in this.
Yeah, Syngen's the target for CitizenMe is 1.2 million. They're already at 890, so there's sort of 300 left. And as usual, you sign up to www.nrprivatemarket.com. As we've always said, it's for our private investors, sophisticated and high net worth. Simple KYC and AML. Most people, if you're already registered, we're going to invite you to become a citizen as well, if you so wish. And you go from there. And it'll be open for a good couple of weeks yet, so there's plenty of time.
All right, Rich Lloyd, the CEO of MINEXIA, accompanied today by Xinjiang Deakins, the CEO of CitizenMe. Thank you so much indeed for your time, both of you.
Thank you, Katie.